We're here to have real conversations with the real people you want to hear from about real topics that you really want to learn. And we're here to help you open up with real thinking. We're here to open up your awareness and help you become the real you. Welcome to the Wake the Bleep Up Show. Welcome everybody to the Wake the Bleep Up Show, where we talk with we have real conversations with real people you want to hear from, and we get into real talk about topics you want to know about, and that we get you into some real thinking so that you really get your mind working and understand that there's so much more out there than what you already believe. With us today, we have Chris Terzakos, and he is amazing. This guy is an author, a coach, a fitness expert. He's got 3 books. I mean, this guy is amazing. You have to listen to this episode. So, Chris, welcome to the show.
Great. Thank you for having me on your platform. I appreciate being here.
Absolutely. So, one thing that sticks out to me from all your information that I got to ask about, because I'm a huge baseball guy. I played baseball, semi-pro, and could have gone pro. Long story behind that. Although I see you're a 3-time baseball champion coach. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so myself, I played baseball, throughout my young age. I nearly became a professional baseball player. I think I had 2 teams, the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds. They both scouted me out. Make a long story short, the league that I played for was ultimate baseball. It's top-notch baseball. Anyway, I played for that league. It was a traveling team. So years later, now I opened up a business. So I always had something to do with the league. So Bobby, the president of the league, said to me, they have to do away with the senior division. And I said, why? He says, we got no money and we have no coaches. I said, well, how much money do you need? He told me how much he needed. I said, well, guess what, Bobby? I'm going to give you the money. So I gave him the money. Guy started crying. I said, no need to cry. He says, this is amazing. I didn't expect this. I said, well, expect it. What's next? What do you need next? So they needed the money for like baseballs, bats, uniforms, payday umpires. So make a long story short, he said, we don't have a coach. I said, oh, okay. I said, okay, I'll coach the team. Really? Yeah, I'll coach the team. These kids can't be on the street. Now, the ages were 17 to 20. They can't be on the street in the summertime, Bobby. So we got to do something and keep them off the street. I went out and I started recruiting, put a team together. The team that I put together was street kids, and I mixed them with some high school baseball players. Mm-hmm. And the formula in the beginning was a disaster. Yeah. Street kids did not get along with these kids that go to these Catholic high schools where they focus on, sports.
Right.
It was one big clash, Tony, right? So anyway, make a long story short again, after like a couple of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, they started getting along. I saw chemistry happening. It was formulating. And then, then we started tournaments, and in the tournaments they became closer. It was really based on relationship with me, with the players, and the players amongst themselves, and that created a solid baseball team. And yes, we won 3 championships back to back to back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that. So again,
it makes me cry too. Every time I talk about it, I want to cry because, I'm 65 years old. I was coaching when I was like 20, maybe 24, 25 years old. I was coaching them. And every time I get asked that question, I get sensitive because today, these kids today, I keep in touch with some of them still. I put them to work. I got them in unions because I was big with unions in New York. Yeah, they're all professionals today, and I'm glad that they turned out to be successful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Such a great story. I love that story. Thanks, and baseball being close to my heart. So
Yeah.
I coached my kids in baseball. And again, I had the opportunity to go pro, and I ended up blowing out my knee, which threw all that out the window. That's another story.
Sorry to hear that.
It's all good. But it's the same thing. So when I first started coaching, and it was little league versus what you're talking about, adult league, is they said we had to draft every year. So you had to have a new team every year. And I was like, well, how am I going to work with this? Because I mean, I'm used to like
I know.
growing a team year over year and helping them grow. And finally, after the second or third year, I was able to figure out, like you said, the relationship side,
Right.
get them all figured out, and we
Right.
just crushed it. We blew it out of the water.
Right.
So
I
that's
agree. I agree because you got to start all over with the new guys.
right. Right.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it.
So you've been 40 years in construction.
Yes.
What does that look like? What did that look like?
Well, like again, like I said, I'm from New York City. I live in Clearwater Beach now, but yeah.
Hold on. You live in Clearwater Beach?
Yeah.
I live in Palm Harbor.
Oh, you're 10 minutes from me.
Right. I know. We're going to
No.
have to connect for lunch or coffee or something.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be delighted to meet you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I bought a house here 2 years ago, Tony.
Nice. All right. Please continue. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay. So where were we at?
Your construction experience.
Okay. Growing up in New York City, school wasn't really my thing. You know, I did play high school varsity baseball, but academics wasn't my thing. You know,
Right.
So from not going to school, because I didn't go, I think I dropped out of school about 11th grade. So my dad said to me, I'm going to sign you out of school. And the reason why he signed me out of school was because the school that I went to was downtown Manhattan. You couldn't learn. It was the school I went to was crazy. You went to the bathroom, you got into a fight. You walked in the hallway, you got into a fight. So I told my father, you know, he kept saying, "You're getting in trouble in school. You're fighting." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm defending myself." Anyway, so my dad signed me out of school, and I went straight into construction. I got involved with unions. I got involved with the carpenters union, laborers union, teamsters union. So they liked me. The people that I got involved with happened to like what I did. So, and that's how I became who I am today. You know, these guys, they were all older guys. I never hung out with a young crew. They were all older men because I respected, and you know, their word. Young guys didn't have a good word behind them. So anyway, yeah, so I was in construction. I was involved with unions. I worked for one company for 18 years. I built the largest casino in the United States, which is in Connecticut. It's called
Foxwoods?
Yeah,
Foxwoods?
Foxwoods. Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah. I spent 7 years on that project. I was the senior project manager for that job. So when that job finished, I told my boss, who's actually my friend today, still my friend. I told him that I was going to open up my own business, which I did. And I'm a leader. I'm still a leader. I'm semi-retired. Still have my business, my partner in New York, and that's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you have anything before I move on to my next question?
Go for it. I want to get into the conversation of testosterone. So you go for it, Tony.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You already brought it up. So now go with it.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody wants to talk about testosterone today.
Well, I feel like there is a lack of testosterone today.
It's true. 100%. So, yeah.
So I'd love to hear your thoughts on why there is a lack. Is it the hormones in the food? Is it stuff they're spraying in the air? Like, what's going on?
Okay. So testosterone, first of all, very important. Us guys, we have to have testosterone. Without testosterone, we're finished. So, yeah. One is the food, the pollution, the stress. They all interfere with production of testosterone. Now, also, the young kids today that are in high school, 23% are on steroids. They're injecting now today. They're on a football team. Yeah, you know, let's go. They juice it up. And 23, the rating was 23 the last I did an investigating on it. they're all on testosterone, but they don't know what's happening later on in life. So if you go on testosterone, when you're young, you're going to pay for it when you're older, because by the time you're 35 years old, testosterone automatically starts to decline every year. It declines. So if you're taking testosterone at a young age, believe me, later on, you're going to either be on TRT or you're going to go and buy my book, and you're going to read how I increased my testosterone naturally. And I want to share my story with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so when I turned 50, I was going through change of life. I wanted to step up my game with everything, right? I'm single, I'm by myself, right? So I got eye surgery. I was buying fancy cars. So I asked the guy in the gym, listen, I want to step up my game a little bit. He goes, okay. So what do you think he gave me? Gave me a bottle of testosterone. So I said, okay. He told me how to do it. I did it. And it's amazing. Let me tell you, I could talk because I'm the experimental guy. When you're on testosterone injections, you feel good. Your mood is good. Everything's just good. You're not tired. You got a lot of energy. Libido's super great, right? When you come off of it is the problem. Because now your body's not going to produce testosterone because you're injecting synthetic testosterone. So now all the receptors, pituitary glands, everything, they all talk to one another in the body, and they go, oh, we don't have to produce testosterone. He already has it in him. And that's the truth. That's how it works, basically. So at 58 or 59, I didn't want to take any more injections. So I stopped. And then I started feeling depressed, tired, fatigued. That's not me. I'm a go-getter.
Right.
So I go to a doctor. I said, something's wrong with me. I'm not feeling good. He goes, okay, let's take your blood exam. My testosterone level came back at 81. Now, 81 is horrendous, horrible.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because anything below 300, you got to go get yourself checked out. You got to do something about it. You can't be below 300. It's called 300 nanograms, NGs. So my testosterone was 81. The reason why I was 81 because I was injecting synthetics. So the doctor said, you got to go on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So I was like, I don't want to go on this stuff, man. This is so you people out there understand TRT is for the rest of your life. That means for the rest of your life, your body's not going to produce testosterone because you're going to put it in your body through injections.
Right.
I didn't want that. I don't want that kind of a commitment. So I said, you know what? I'm going to study. I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure I could raise my testosterone on its own, naturally. And that's what I did. So I went on this whole regimen. And then 9 months later, I went back to the holistic doctor, took a full blood exam. My testosterone came back a little below 700.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Now, in the book, here's the book. That's a picture of me, right? Got a six-pack still. In the book, both exams are in the book, just to show people that, I'm not kidding around. This is serious stuff. So I went from 81, I think it was 680 or 690. That's incredible progress as far as my program. So my wife was with me at the time when we got the second exam. And when we got into my truck, she said, I want you to write a book. You need to educate these people out there about what you did. I said, really? She said, yeah, write the book. You could write the book. And I did. So I sat and I wrote a book of how to increase testosterone naturally. And there's a lot of different things that I could talk about how to increase it. So I'll follow your lead. If you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Well, give us just like one tidbit. I mean, I encourage everyone to go out and get Chris's book. However, give us like one tidbit. What's one thing that for guys out there that are looking to increase their testosterone that they could do on natural?
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you the do's and I'm going to give you the don'ts.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's start with the don'ts. First of all, you got to get rid of sugar.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm explaining to you why. Sugar increases insulin. Now, when insulin goes up, estrogen goes up. So when they both go up, they both block the production of testosterone. So you're already going to be in the red. You're not going to get nowhere.
Right.
So you got to get rid of the bread, the pasta, the cakes, the cookies, sugar in your coffee or tea. You got to get rid of that. So that's the don't. The other don't is, and you got to try your best to keep your stress level down. Stress will also prevent production of testosterone. It's called cortisol. It's a hormone. It's from stress. So yeah, you gotta get that down and there's different supplements. I'll even show you right here. There's ashwagandha. Everything's all natural. Ashwagandha. You got shilajit.
Yeah.
Now, all of these are all ancient stuff from Tibet, China, from India. Those are two that will decrease your stress levels naturally. You don't need to go to a conventional doctor and get on pills. I don't believe in conventional medicine. I don't
Neither do we. Neither do we. Aaron and I are on the same page. We're way on the same page with you.
Perfect. Okay, so those are the don'ts: the sugar, the insulin, the cortisol, the stress. Now, the do's: you got to change your diet.
Yeah.
Now, let's start with sleep. You got to get at least 8 hours sleep, and I'll explain to you why. Everything I talk about, I have to explain to you why. Because sleep increases testosterone and human growth hormone. So when you're sleeping, your body's producing testosterone and human growth hormone naturally. Fasting. You got to try to fast at least 14 hours minimum. And your last meal at night should be no later than 6. The latest, I'm going to be generous and say 7. That's not for me. I eat at 6 or 5 o'clock at night, and I won't eat to the next morning to about 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So I fast every single day because it increases testosterone also and increases human growth hormone naturally without any injections. So I gave you the do's. You got to drink olive oil. I drink olive oil every day. I have a glass. Here's a glass. I'll pour it. I put 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'll drink that once a day. Olive oil increases testosterone by 17.4%.
Also helps to clear out your gallbladder, doesn't it?
Oh, forget it. It's good for everything.
Yeah.
It's like an oil change.
Right.
You go to the car, you get your car oil change. It's the same thing. So, and then you got to eat healthy fats, because healthy fats, are good for increasing testosterone. So healthy fats, omega-3s.
Yeah.
You can get wild caught salmon, avocado, Brazilian nuts, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are great, by the way, because they're high in zinc.
Really?
And,
okay.
Yeah, and zinc plays a big role in increasing testosterone.
Nice.
I recommend if you like oysters, they're like on the top of the list to increase.
Love oysters.
Yeah, Tony. So it's not only they increase testosterone, they wake up the receptors in the body, and that's when the receptor is waking up, it's like charging a car battery. So once the receptor is charged, they send messages to all the cells in the body to increase testosterone.
Nice.
So oysters are number 1 on the list. Grass-fed meat.
Yep.
Okay. Now the best thing for food is organ meat.
Okay, elaborate on that. What do you mean by that?
Organ meat. You got to eat liver, kidneys, brains, bone marrow, and the best thing for us guys, not for women, I myself, I eat animal testicles.
Wow. So that's you've pushed me a little beyond. So everything I had you until testicles.
Right.
Aaron knows this. My wife is Cambodian, so we're all about eating innards, and I have for a long time. And so it's funny you're mentioning the things you're mentioning because even though I'm still a little on the heavier side, I have lost 30 pounds in the last year, and I've done it.
Awesome.
I've done it based on what you're talking about. I cut out all sugars, all carbs.
Good.
Started working on grass-fed meats, things like that,
Good.
and it's challenging. And so when you talked about wild caught fish, most people don't know that. I harp on people all the time about wild caught versus farm raised. People do not know the difference.
Mhm.
Farm raised is not good for you. You need to get wild caught. And
100%.
here in our area, I don't know, maybe you found somewhere different, but I've only been able to find wild caught salmon at Sam's Club. Wild caught sockeye is the only thing I've been able to find. I've not.
That's where I go. I was there today, Tony. I was there today.
We probably just missed each other.
Yeah, I bought wild caught salmon. You know, the thing is, in New York, you could get really good wild caught salmon. When we moved to Florida, I told my wife, "Why do we get wild caught salmon here?" And we found it. We found it. The only place was the Sam's Club.
Right. Well, and what you don't know is I'm originally from Seattle, so I got wild caught salmon all the time. I used to catch it.
It's right in your backyard.
I used to catch it myself. And Aaron knows. So Aaron's from Vancouver, Canada, or Victoria, Canada. I used to fish up there and all the time, and I used to catch all this stuff myself.
Right.
But you're right. When we moved to Florida, same thing. It's like the only place you can find it is at Sam's Club. There's
Sam's
nowhere
Club. Yeah. I was there today. I actually picked some up today. Yeah. So wild caught salmon will give you the omega-3 that you're looking for. And if you can't get wild caught salmon, I suggest that you go on a supplement, omega-3 supplement. I would take one or two a day.
Right.
Now with supplements, I recommend 5 days on, 2 days off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My recommendation, I should not say don't. My recommendation is don't rely on supplements every single day.
No, you still need the nutrition in what you eat.
Right. You let the body feed it, you know, so 2 days off. So I'm on my supplements, 5 days on, 2 days off. That's how I do it. Okay. So, and my testosterone level is about 740. It even went higher.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm good.
All right, man. All right, Chris. So you are ripped.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are right now?
I'll be 65 in October.
65, and you look like somebody that should be on the cover of like Muscle magazine. So what outside of the supplements and the food that you eat, what else do you do to maintain that physique?
Okay. Well, the food helps a lot. 72% of it is food.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other percentage is exercise.
Right.
So I exercise 5 days a week. I don't lift the way I used to lift when in my 50s, when I was on PEDs. So now I go to the gym. I do constant supersetting. After I drop, say I'm bench pressing, after I drop the weight, I jump on something else immediately. I don't sit there with the guys on the phone. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? I don't do that stuff. I got a headset on. I'm not here to talk to you. I'll say hello to you. I'm not rude. Don't get me wrong. But I'm here to train. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to train. After my training's over, we could talk for hours. But I'm here to train, and that's what I do. My wife and I were identical. My wife, she won 2 championships, okay, and body physique, not bodybuilding, body like bikini. And my wife competed against the world in Vegas, and she came 10th out of 350 women from all over the world. Yeah. Wow. So this is our life. So, and we have fun at the gym. It's fun. It's it's not like, oh, I got to go to the gym now. Oh, people do that. When you do that, just stay home. What's the point? What's the point of even doing it?
Right.
So, you know, everything's up here in the mind. You got to change your mindset. You know, growing old is a choice. You have a choice.
Yes.
And I tell that to anybody. You want to sit on the couch, eat potato chips, and watch movies all night? That's good. That's good for you, but that's not good for me.
No.
So my choice is stay healthy. Try to teach the young guys today, even guys my age. You know, you want to, you know, feel good. You know, you want to look good. It's better to feel good on the inside than on the outside, to be honest with you.
Yeah. 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 So you live in Clearwater Beach. Do you take walks or jogs on the beach?
We go to the beach. No, my wife likes to jog on the beach a little bit. I'm not one for jogging because I'll
Yeah.
tell you why. And I'm glad you brought that up because one thing leads to another. When you jog, when a man jogs, he's decreasing his testosterone.
Okay. Explain.
He's getting the body tired. The body doesn't want to be tired that way. Now, if you do HIIT, high intensity interval training, that will boost your testosterone immediately.
Nice.
So you're better off doing a sprint, a 1 minute sprint or a 2 minute sprint, and then go back to, like, you know, lifting.
Oh,
Don't go run. Listen, I can't tell people not to. I keep saying don't. I would not run 10 miles. My testosterone will drop big time. It'll drop. So that's why I don't run like that. I do.
So you're about the lifting. You're about the high intensity workouts.
Oh yeah, like, you know, I'll go do like a set of biceps. As soon as I drop the dumbbells, I'll get on a fan bike, and I'll pedal out a fan bike for like a minute, 2 minutes, and then I go back to doing biceps.
But that's still kind of cardio, the same way as like you're talking about jogging.
But yeah, but it's different. It's different.
Interval.
It's blood flow.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to understand.
Now the blood flow. You gotta. If we don't have blood flow, us guys, forget.
Yeah.
We have no nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is what we need to generate an increased testosterone. Is nitric oxide.
Right.
So that's what we try to do. So you can Google, you know, when we're done, you can Google it when you jog 15 miles, 20 miles. You're going to read it drops testosterone level.
Is it the same for women? Because testosterone can be a problem for women after menopause.
That's true. I think women, I think you're supposed to have 11% testosterone and the rest estrogen. So I would say for women, I don't know the answer to that question, but I would look into that.
I'm definitely going to look into that.
I would say, yeah, you know, if it happens for men, why wouldn't it happen for women?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. So you live in Clearwater, Tony. One thing that I also strongly recommend for anyone, you got to get some natural sunlight.
Ah, are you familiar with Gary Brecka?
Yeah, I am.
Same thing. So I try to catch my morning light, first morning light every day.
Right. And what about vitamin D? Are you on any vitamin D3?
Absolutely, I am.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good. What are you taking? Five IUs a day or 10 IUs a day?
Five IUs. It's the vitamin D and potassium at the same time.
Okay, not the vitamin D with the K2.
Oh, it is the D with the K2.
Okay, with the K2. Good. Okay, yeah, you're on a good supplement then.
Yeah,
that's good. Okay, so we basically covered some of the areas. The book. I wrote it so a fifth grader could read it. It's very simple. Yep. The whole concept of it is you got to be disciplined. You got to discipline and dedicate yourself and say, I'm going to do this. I don't care what it takes, but I'm going to do it because that's how I did it for 9 months. And let's say when I went back the second time and I got my blood exam, if the testosterone didn't go up, I have no other alternative but to go on TRT.
Right.
So that's why I did what I did.
No, I love that you said the discipline because I literally had a conversation with my coach today, Devin Mandison, and I talked to him about commitment. And he said the commitment, which is very similar to discipline, he's like, the commitment separates the men from the boys. When you commit to something and you stick with it and you do it, that's the difference between being successful, whatever it is, whether you're trying to get in fitness shape, whether you're trying to grow a business, whether you're trying to have a career. The commitment
100%.
versus lollygagging is the number one thing.
100%. Now, another thing I'm gonna key on here, right, is pollution. Like pollution is horrible, horrible for us men and women. It's for hormones. So pollution. I hope no one's drinking water from a plastic bottle.
Plastic bottle or a tap.
Good. No, because they're high in toxins.
Yes.
There's one pollution that no one is really talking about today. I heard it about 2 months ago, and I want to share it.
Please.
And the pollution today is cremation.
Really?
Right.
I never heard that.
Oh, I know you did. Now, here's a guy, right? He invented this. This is all natural. This is all natural magnesium.
Okay.
Now he's the founder of it. He's the guy that told me it's not out yet, but it will come out. And I want you to talk about it and spread the word. See, my generation, when you died, you got buried.
Right.
Today, you die, they cremate you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much toxins is in a dead body?
No, I can imagine.
Right. They tell you when somebody dies, don't go near their face.
Right.
Because there's a lot of toxins.
So are you saying cremation is better than burial or vice versa?
No, I'm saying creation is what you and I are breathing during the day.
Oh.
We go outside. How many people got cremated?
Oh.
So we're breathing those toxins.
Oh.
But nobody talks about it today. And I like talking about it because I'm big on that. Like, microwaves, the radiation from a microwave is not good for your hormones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm going to show you something else I have right next to me. You see this? This is toothpaste, right?
Oh, I love that it has hemp oil in it.
Okay, you see there's a black stripe there?
Yep.
Do you know what that means?
Somebody else told me this the other day, but I don't remember, so please remind me.
It's all chemicals.
Oh.
Look at this toothpaste. You see
yes.
It's green.
Yep.
All natural.
Aaron, do you remember who was telling us about that? Was it Michael that was telling us about that?
I've never heard that one before, but I do know the chemical filled, fluoride filled toothpaste has a warning label on it. Do not swallow.
Right.
Correct. So you're brushing your teeth and you're not knowing, but you got chemicals in your mouth because you're not aware of these lines. It's mandatory. The company has to put the little stripe here. This one is black and this one is green. Okay. Yeah. I have a chart here that explains it. Green is all natural. Black is all chemicals. If it's red, it's mixed. It's natural with chemicals. If it's red.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you got to be careful because those are hormones again, and you don't want to, mess up your hormones.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, you are on the right show because Aaron and I are both about all natural, everything natural. And again, I've been with my Cambodian wife for 21 years. So for the last 20 plus years, I've always been working on the Eastern medicine, the Eastern, we haven't been to a doctor in I don't know how long because we don't believe in doctors. We believe in the natural medicines, the natural herbs and spices and vitamins and so and my kids included. That's not just me, my wife and I. That's our kids too.
That's
we have
awesome.
Not been there, and so I love that you're having this conversation. Are you familiar with Dave Albin?
No.
Dave Albin was he was the chief firewalking master for Tony Robbins for 20 years.
Okay.
But he had the same conversation. We had this very similar conversation we're having now. And I was like, I can actually say that I am 100% natural. It's not, I could lose some pounds and I'm working on that. But we legitimately focus on natural medicines, natural vitamins, things like that. We take supplements like we're talking about. However,
Yep.
when it comes to actual cures, things like that, we look at the natural methods. We don't go to a doctor. We don't go to a doctor with one exception. The United States does have some of the best emergency doctor care. Like if I broke an arm or my son broke an arm, yeah, I'm going to go to a hospital.
Right.
However, outside of that, general health, nope,
Yeah.
never going to touch a doctor. I'll go to a nutritionist,
Mhm.
and I do, but I'm not going to go to a doctor because they're going to try to prescribe me some bullshit that's going to like put poisons in my body.
Exactly. Now, if you guys, I drink every morning before anything that goes in my body. I drink homemade aloe vera.
Yeah.
You've heard of it, Tony?
We have like 6 plants right outside this house right now.
What, aloe vera plants?
Absolutely. You squeeze out the juices almost every day.
Okay, well, I chop up 2 leaves. I
Yep.
put it in a gallon jug. I cut them thin so they fit into the jug. I fill it with my mountain water that I have, and I put it in the refrigerator for a day.
Now, do you cut off the green and just leave the jelly?
No, I leave the greens on. I wash them really good. I leave the greens on. Put 2 leaves, 1 gallon jug, fill it with water, leave it in the refrigerator for about 8 to 10 hours or a day. The next morning, when I'm getting ready to drink it, I give a quick shake and I drink. It's so thick. And I'm going to tell you why I do it. It's detoxification, antioxidant, anti-aging, reduces inflammation, protects the cells in the body, digestive health, vitamin C, and skin health. Now, why wouldn't you want to drink this stuff? Why wouldn't you want to drink?
Seriously. I'm glad you brought up aloe vera because we've been using it for years. So even when we still lived in Washington State, I built my wife a greenhouse. She was growing these plants and giving them away to friends because we had too many because they reproduce.
Okay.
And so we have them like crazy. We use them for, wow. Most people don't know that. Right. Most people don't understand the power of a true aloe plant. Right. Not the shit you buy in the store. Exactly. An actual aloe plant where you can cut off the leaf. Aaron, do you know what we're talking about? Do you understand what?
I know aloe is very good for you, but not to the degree that you guys are speaking on. Right. No, so, I had no idea it was that good for you.
Where you're at, Aaron, you can get an aloe plant. Now you might have to, because you're in the Pacific Northwest during the wintertime, you might have to bring it in and leave it next to a window.
Right.
But this stuff will grow and you can just cut off a leaf like he's talking about. And now unlike what Chris is talking about, we've always shaved off the green and just kept the jelly. Right. It produces a jelly on the inside, and all of it, when they talk about for like sunburns using aloe vera, things like that, we've always used natural aloe. We've never actually bought a store-bought thing. We've always used natural aloe for sunburns.
Yeah, for sunburn. They're good for sunburns. Yeah.
But most people don't understand the actual consumption properties like we're talking about now.
Right. Anti-aging, this is a great agent for anti-aging. Like I said, I'm 65 years old. And most people, like when they ask, yeah, how old are you? They ask me at the gym. I said, no, I'm going to be 65. They go, why? Get out of here. You look like you're 45. Okay, that's great. Because, I don't want the wrinkles. I do go into the sun, but I'm limited in the sun. I walk the dog 4 times a day, 15-minute walk. So I get my sunlight to increase the testosterone. Mm-hmm. So, and you're right about doctors. I wrote a book on how to heal a hernia.
I was going to ask you about that because I have friends who went and had surgery for hernia surgery, and I wanted to ask you.
Here it is.
Yes. No, I love it. So tell me more about what you mean by, because I haven't read your book, but tell me more about what you mean by hernia without surgery.
Hernia without surgery. Hernia without surgery. Like I said, in my 50s, I went through this change of life. I was lifting like crazy at the gym. I got a hernia. Okay. I started, ego lifting. So I go to a doctor. Like you said, went to the doctor. First, what do you think the first thing he said was? We got to set you up for surgery.
Right.
And I said, you know what? Don't set nothing though. Let me think this one over. And I did. I said, you know what? When I left, I'm not getting surgery. I'm going to figure out a way how to maintain and heal my hernia. And that's what I did. So again, my wife told me to write the book.
Right.
because it worked. I got
Yes.
a hernia 14 years. Okay, I'm still working out. I live a normal life, and if anyone saw my hernia today, you wouldn't even know I had a hernia. It's there. It's there because it's a little hole that creates in your, by your stomach.
Right.
The
But
whole
it doesn't cause you pain, doesn't cause you suffering because you took the steps necessary to make
right.
sure it wasn't
You're
causing.
right. I did, and all the steps are in the book. Again, I wrote it very simple. And again, Tony, the bottom line to any self-healing, you got to be disciplined and dedicated.
Yes. Yes. Committed.
Just don't
Committed.
go. You know how people throw their arms up and they go, I can't do this. Guess what? Then don't do it. Go get surgery.
Yeah. Well,
But
guess what? So, Chris, this is the part that pisses me off about that scenario right there.
What's
What pisses
that?
me off about that is that people they'll say, "Oh, I tried for a week and it didn't work for me." Kiss my ass. Try for a month. Try for 90 days. Give it some
Right.
time.
Right.
Because as soon as you give up is the time that it was actually going to work.
Right.
Don't
Exactly.
stop now. Keep going. You got to give it the
Exactly.
old college try. Otherwise, it's never going to work for you.
Exactly. So I'll tell you one or two of the steps, how to treat the hernia. First, when I first started the program, I did Epsom salt bath for about 30 or 40 days straight. I was in the Epsom salt hot tub every single night.
Yeah.
The Epsom salt bath. And then I would massage the area around it because if you strengthen the muscles around the hernia, the muscles will tighten up and strengthen and actually keep the hernia inside.
Yeah.
So here you are training your hernia saying, hey, dude, you don't belong out here. You belong inside. Now, when I first got my hernia, it was about that big, a little smaller than a baseball.
Yeah.
Today it's like the size of a marble. Very,
Nice.
very tiny.
Nice.
So it was Epsom salt baths. I wore a hernia belt. The same thing, 30 days for 40 days straight. Because the belt, when you put it on, it pushes the hernia in. So you're training the hernia, hey, you belong in here. So
Right.
From the moment I woke up in the morning, I put the belt on. And then before my bath at night, I took the belt off. So I had the belt on, I don't know, 17, 18 hours a day.
Nice.
Now, I wear the belt only to the gym. I don't wear the belt during the day anymore. I don't need to.
Now, why are you still doing that? You said your hernia is down to the size of a marble. Why do you still do that?
Security, just for safety reasons, you never know. You're in the gym, you could do something, or, if I didn't breathe right, because, working out, you have to breathe right. I might be able to pop it again, and I don't want to pop it, so I keep the belt on. That's why
I wish I had read your book years ago. I had 2 10-pound babies and I'm very narrow in the hip. So I was like out to here, completely split my abdominal muscles. I ended up having a hernia and they said, you need surgery or you could die. So they cut me open. And when I came out of surgery, they said, if you ever have anything done in the abdominal area, you need to tell the doctor that you are so full of mesh that they need to know about it. So now, and then I was seeing this guy who's a fascia specialist. And when I told him this story, he freaked out. He's like, they should have closed you up and have done nothing because they've destroyed your entire body.
Yeah.
With that surgery. And I didn't know that you could actually do something with it naturally. I should have just not trusted the surgeon and done some research, maybe found your book, read that. Now I'm in a place where I'm really paranoid when I work out. I avoid the apps because I have no idea how careful I need to be about that.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. It's very common that, when women give birth, it's very common that they get hernias. They call it another name though.
Well, there's what they call it diastasis is when the muscles separate. They're naturally separated, but it's when they really separate and your guts are like just pushing out.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Right.
Wow. So Aaron,
I'm thinking maybe I should be wearing a belt when I work out then, a hernia belt.
Well, she works out. Aaron works out with all the tell him what you do. The electrolysis thing, not the electrolysis.
That's for hair remover.
I know.
removal. No,
I'm totally off base, but that's okay.
so I do EMS fitness training,
EMS, that's
electromuscle
what it was.
stimulation.
Okay.
So that's where you wear the full suit
Yeah.
and you've got the electrodes laying against particular muscle groups, and then they shoot frequency into your muscles.
Right.
And you take on as much electricity as you can.
Yeah.
If you take on too much, your muscles freeze and they're like just frozen and it's pointless.
Right.
So it's really about how much electricity, how much frequency you can take into your muscles before your muscles freeze in place, and then how hard you flex your muscles. So it's like double contraction.
Okay.
So it's like a hell of a well, it's as hard as you want it to be, but a 20-minute session, a 20-minute workout is like lifting heavy for 90 minutes to 2 hours in the gym.
Wow. Are you concerned about the mesh in your abdominal?
I don't work the abs because I don't know what, and I've never been able to find information on how careful I need to be. So I don't have them put the electricity on in my abs. And I avoid working the abs.
Okay, and you
just don't know.
And what about your breathing techniques? You got good breathing techniques at the gym? Because if you don't breathe right, you could pop your hernia.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say no to that. I don't know.
You got to breathe. Actually, blow out. If you could blow out a lot, because you don't want the air filling up in your diaphragm and your stomach. You got to get the air out of you, because the air will combust, and that's what causes the hernia. You're breathing.
All right.
No
You're bringing
way.
up a whole nother topic here, Chris and Aaron. I'm sorry to cut you off. You got to tell me more about the breathing, because I'm all about breathing techniques, but I want to hear what your take is on breathing techniques.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's morning, whether it's workout, whatever it is.
First, you got to breathe through your nose. You don't breathe through your mouth.
Right.
So you breathe through your nose, and then out.
Yes.
And blow out as long as you can.
Until it's empty.
Until it's empty. Blow it out.
Yes.
And then back again through your nose, out. Especially when you're working out.
Right.
Especially when you're working out. And
Now, do you have any sort of counts on it? Like, do you like time, like the breathe ins?
Not me. I've been doing this all my life. So I guess some people do, they count, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. I go as long as I could go,
Well, actually, what you just said is just right. So when I talked about Gary Brecka earlier, and so one of the things I have multiple breathing exercises I do, but one of them was from Gary Brecka, where he says, take it back to breathing in your nose. You breathe in as much as you can. Breathe in as much as you can through your nose and hold it as long as you can. And as soon as you think you're ready to be done, breathe in again. Breathe in a breath, and then hold it as long as you can, and then breathe it out and blow it out like hard, like blow it out. And it's about oxygenating. How do I say that? Oxygenating your body. Is that right?
Oxidation.
Adding oxygen to your body, because where oxygen exists, disease cannot exist. Is what he likes to say.
Right. So remember, breathing. You got a hernia already, so you got to make sure you blow out as long as you can when you're exercising. Don't hold that air inside your body. Not good.
No.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, you want to talk about something else? You want to talk about my other book?
Aaron, what do you got? Because I
let's hear about your other book.
Yeah. My other book is a memoir. It's called Belonging to Yourself. Here's the book cover. So this is a book about my life since I'm a little kid growing up until today. There's a lot of good in the book, and there's a lot of betrayals in the book, a lot of sadness in the book, a lot of happiness. So I wanted to share my story and let people read it, see how I came over adversities in life and how I moved on, and practice self-love. I never loved myself all those years. I loved people before me.
Yeah.
I was always a caretaker. I was a caretaker. Always, run to you, do this for you. But what about me? I never really, me. Okay, big deal. I always went to the gym. All right, big deal. I took care of myself in that way. I eat healthy, but I really needed to focus on self-love, and that's what I did.
Okay, so now you bring up another, because my wife and I have been the same way for most of our lives up until recently. We've always been pouring out into other people and not so much into ourselves, and we've turned that around over the last 4 or 5 years. What was there a turning point that you were like, I need to focus on me?
Yeah. When I was 20 years old, my best friend got murdered. I come from a tough neighborhood.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, as a young guy, you don't betray anyone. You don't talk behind people's back. He got involved with the wrong people. I tried to talk to them, and they told me stay away from him, and he got murdered.
Wow.
So that was one darkness in my life. And then 5 or 6 years later, my sister Paula died. Now, my sister Paula was like my second mother. She's my older sister. She took care of us. My mother worked, single family. So Paula used to take care of us. You know how Paula died? We talked about this. She died running. She was a marathon runner. She died running. She was going on I think a 10 or 15-mile run, with 2 other friends of hers that they trained for the marathon. And we got the call that she tripped or fell to the ground, and in a matter of 2 minutes, your sister died.
Wow.
So when that happened, I got angry, and things weren't good for me because my anger, I acted out. I got in a lot of trouble. I was in, lawsuits. I was in courtrooms. Cost me close to $200,000 in lawyers' fees. I just was a mess. I was angry. And that was like the turning point. I said, okay, I got to get myself together here. This is not good. My friend dies. My sister died. And then a couple of relationships that I had a woman tell me she was pregnant with my baby. I raised this kid for 4 or 5 years. I get a letter in the mail from a lawyer. And then I find out from the DNA that the baby was not mine. So, all these things that happen in your life, I said, well, what am I doing, man? I look in the mirror. What are you doing with yourself? Well, your judgment is poor, because I always wanted to love outside of me. I didn't want to love me.
Right.
So that's what I did. That's how I transformed. I owe a lot to my wife. My wife is incredible. She's about self-healing herself, about self-love, spirituality, and I owe it to my wife. She helped me a lot.
Yeah. So mine as well. And I bring it up because of that reason. So we mentioned earlier, my wife and I spent most of our life in Seattle area in Washington. So it wasn't until 2018 we moved to Florida. Prior to that, all of our family is still back in Seattle area, back in Washington. Prior to that, you had my wife's family and my family just like this in our ears. And so we were always trying to serve somebody else, always trying to serve them, always trying to make sure they were taken care of, and everybody else was taken care of. And it was at first, it was kind of a shell shock when we moved to Florida and we had nobody around except for our kids and us.
Right.
It was like, wow, we get to live our lives. We get to worry about us. And we started looking in the mirror and saying, okay, I love this, this, and this about myself. However, I want to work on this, this, and this.
Right.
And it was a huge aha moment when we actually had our distance from that life. It really moved us to that next direction. And and every day we're grateful for that.
That's awesome. That's it. Gratitude, just be grateful.
Yeah.
They say behind every man is a good woman.
Yeah, I definitely got one of those. I'm lucky there.
That's it. Behind every man is a good woman.
Erin hasn't met her yet, but she's seen lots of pictures and lots of videos.
Listen, I was single for many, many years. I said, I will not get married again. I need to find the right woman.
Yeah.
And I did. I got married. I think 4 or 5 years ago, I got married.
Well, guess what? Based on the
Something-
fact that you're about 10 minutes down the road, we're going to get to meet each other's significant others. So.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
Tony. That's good. That's good. How's the weather over there in Vancouver?
It's like 90 degrees.
Oh, okay. Because I know your weather's cold over there all the time, right?
We rarely get below freezing. I mean, we had a couple nights where it was like -15, which is crazy cold for, well, it's Celsius.
Right.
So it doesn't really get below zero very often here on the West Coast.
Right.
We're on the coast, so we get nice warm winds from Hawaii. Don't ask me how, but the valley that I live in,
Yeah.
we get warm winds from Hawaii. I'm actually surrounded by vineyards.
Wow. My wife loves Hawaii.
I have
She's
yet to go to Hawaii, but we
Yeah,
get
she
their
was-
winds.
No, she was talking about moving there. That's how much she
Whoa,
loved
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa. Easy, Hot Rod. You're good in Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, she was talking about moving there. That's how much she loves Hawaii.
Aaron, what were you about to talk about?
What was I going to say? Oh, well, it was making me think when you gentlemen were talking how we put so much of our energy up to a certain age into other people. And then we hit this time in our lives where we realize we're middle aged and that our life is half lived, half over. And then suddenly it's like, if I don't focus on myself and do what I need to do to make myself happy, when am I going to? When I'm 85? So it's a very natural process that most human beings go through, that awakening moment where you're like, okay, I've given to everyone else. I need to do what I need to do to be fulfilled and make myself happy. And it's my responsibility. And a lot of people feel really, really guilty for that, especially moms who've been the caregiver raising the kids.
Right.
And then they go through this period of time where they're like lost. I just jumped on a call with a gal who's going to become a client today. And she's like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Oh,
And if I had a nickel for every, especially woman, I've heard say that.
right.
And it's like, well, now, darling, it's time for you to reinvent yourself.
Right.
Figure out who you are, what lights your soul on fire, what you're passionate about, follow that and make yourself happy again.
Right. Listen, when you're in darkness, and I've been in darkness a few times, there's the only thing I can say from my experience, there is light.
Yeah.
You have to grind, search, dedicate to find that light.
Mhm.
So, you can't be in darkness for the rest of your life. There is light out there. If you want it, go get it.
100%.
Yeah, you have to be willing to look for it and stop playing the victim.
Right.
Right.
Or blame.
Right.
Or blame. You can't start going and
That's
blaming
victimhood.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, my website is healingwarriors.com. And I consider myself a warrior. That's why we named it healingwarriors.com. A warrior, a true warrior, he takes responsibility for what he's not responsible for.
Yes.
Mm.
Now that's deep. Now, if you can do that, you know what? Then you become a warrior.
Hold on. I got to ask more, Chris.
What's
What
up?
do you mean by taking responsibility that you're not responsible for?
I'll give you an example.
Yes, please.
In my childhood, I said I was scouted by the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Red baseball team, right?
Yes, you did.
Right. I come from a single family. I mentioned that also.
Yes.
Did you know that my parents, and I was an elite baseball player, my parents never came to my baseball games. Hold on now. Trophy night. I would go home with 3-4 trophies, MVP, all-star, whatever, championship trophies when I played baseball.
Yeah.
My parents never came to trophy night. There was 400 people there. And you know what? I used to lie. People used to ask me, parents, Jeffrey's mom. I mentioned Jeffrey because he was one of my great teammates. His mom, his dad. Hey, Chris, congratulations. Where's your parents? I used to lie. I said, oh, they're working. They weren't working. They just never came. So to answer your question, if I had parents that would have been supportive of my baseball, I probably would have been a baseball player today.
Mm,
So I take responsibility for not being a baseball player. I don't blame them.
right.
So what did I say a warrior is? Takes the responsibility for what he's not responsible for. So I wasn't responsible for that. My parents really were responsible, but I'm taking the responsibility.
Well, you said it earlier. We all have a
Yes.
choice. We all have a choice.
Right, we have a
And
choice.
you can choose whether to hang on to that, or you can choose to move on and find the better way forward.
Exactly.
And so that as people, we have the choice whether we're gonna, like Aaron said, play that victimhood or
Right.
play that victim card, or we can say, you know what, I am who I am. I am Tony. This is Aaron. This is Chris, and we are going to be Tony, Aaron, and Chris, and
Correct.
we're going to move forward regardless of what's happened in our past, because it doesn't matter. We have today, and we're going to work in today.
Exactly. You know, and then with the young people can listen, you know, and they can learn or just, you know, consider it, whatever I say or you say or Aaron says, you know, just consider it or listen to us because we're talking about this for a reason. So you can learn. When we were kids, we didn't have podcasts. You had to learn on your own.
Right? We went off on our bikes and we rode around the neighborhood until the parents said we had to be back before dark or before dinner.
Right. We didn't have none of this where, you know, you listen and they go, oh, wow, he went through that. Oh, he went through this too. You know, chapter 16 of my book is the biggest betrayal of my life. And I wrote about it. And the biggest betrayal of my life came from a family member.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's in chapter 16. That's like a juicy chapter, chapter 16.
Chapter 16, juicy.
But still, I take responsibility. And I forgive him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have to.
I forgive
Aaron,
him.
I know you got something to say here. Jump in.
I mean, you have to, or that eats away at you. That becomes anger that you never release. And that, voila, now you got cancer kind of thing.
Right.
And it doesn't mean necessarily forgiving so much. It's more about accepting that it happened. One of the greatest things I learned from my neuro-linguistic programming training, one of the core principles is everyone does the best they can with what they have.
True.
And that for me was like, because it released all anger. If I was pissed off because somebody, I think they should have handled something differently. Well, now it's like, well, they did what they could. They did the best they could with what they had. They had their own beliefs. They had their own baggage. They had their own shit. So they did what was right for them at the moment. And it really has nothing to do with me.
Right.
So it lightens the amount of anger and resentment that can build up from the actions of others, and it just releases it. And I'm like, well, you did the best you could. Fuck it, let's move on.
Right.
Kind of thing, right? And it's freeing. It's incredibly liberating, and it gives you the space for expansion and learn and grow. Otherwise, you can't. If you're so bogged down with all this resentment and anger and the whole bit.
Right.
Ooh.
And bad thoughts too. You know, you have a lot of bad thoughts in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, and the mind starts playing tricks with you. You know, there's a phrase, there's a quote that I put on my Instagram. Why have road rage when you can have peace?
Right. Oh, you're bringing up. Oh my goodness. You're right. So there's a choice. Chris, you're totally bringing up something for me. So Aaron, you've heard this before. I've talked about it on other shows. There's two things in my life that I've learned patience and peace in almost every area of my life. One of the two that I'm still struggling with is drivers. And it's funny because
you're saying that, Tony, because you live in Clearwater and they drive like crazy in Clearwater.
They drive like crazy here, and they park in the left lane when they should be over in the right lane.
It's unbelievable.
Florida drivers are nuts.
But it's funny you mentioned it because
you're right. I agree with you.
But one of my coaches said, Tony, when you get into the car, instead of worrying about this person that's parked in the left lane when they should be in the right lane, how about you pour love through them, filter love through you to them, and pour it out, because your drive is going to be that much better. And when I don't do it every day, I'm not going to lie, I still have my road raging, but when I focus on that, when I remember that, and I'm like, funnel love, I have a better drive. But you're right.
Yeah.
Here in Clearwater area, they drive like nuts.
You know, it's so much easier just to say, go ahead, go ahead, don't worry,
Right.
go ahead, just
Right.
go, no worries, go ahead, you could go.
Right.
Why have road rage and get yourself
Why?
all, you know?
There's no reason to get stressed about it.
So going back to forgiveness, it's the same scenario. Why be angry when you can have peace?
Right.
You have a choice. You want to be angry, or do you want to have peace?
Right.
You know,
You're giving all your power away to someone else.
exactly.
It reminds me of I know someone who was bullied their entire life at school and by a parent, and they're like 35 years old now and they just can't let it go. And I said to this person, do you think those bullies in school remember you? Like, they're married, they got kids, they're having grandchildren, they're busy living their life. They don't even remember you, and you're still wallowing in it.
Yeah,
You've given all your power over to these people who don't even remember you.
right.
Sad.
So they need to do some work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they need some work. Yeah, for sure.
Some people don't want to do the work though. Some people like being addicted to the negative feelings and emotions. I just did a video on that today.
I know, because we live in such a negative world. That's why, everything around you is like negative. You go around, it's negativity.
Everything. It's literally like somebody pulling a dump truck full of negativity up next to your head and pouring it into your ear.
You know what? You're right. But the idea of it is to minimize the negativity around you. And my wife and I, we did that like in the last couple of years. We minimized all the negativity people around us. We don't want this anymore. I'm tired of it.
Right.
And if you begin to look for evidence of positivity, you're activating your reticular activating system, and then you will begin to see more positivity and just kind of brush off the negative shit and go, ain't giving it any energy.
Definitely. 100%. I agree with you. 100%.
So Chris, what brought you down here to Clearwater?
My wife.
Oh yeah?
It's always the woman.
My wife. You know what it was? We lived in Miami. I was snowbirding from New York to Miami.
Yeah.
And then I told her, we can't live in South Beach anymore. I said, I don't like it here. I can't walk around. I got a watch on. I got, my chain on my, these guys, it became dangerous in South Beach.
Yeah.
So we moved. We moved to Bell Harbor, beautiful neighborhood. Bell Harbor. You heard of Bell Harbor?
I have heard of Bell Harbor, yeah.
Beautiful neighborhood. Okay, so we lived there, and then we went back to New York, lived on the beach in New York, with freezing cold in the wintertime. It was gorgeous in the summer. We had beautiful 40-foot balcony overlooking the ocean. It was like $1 million view.
Nice.
And then my wife said, let's go back to Florida. So we came down to visit Clearwater, and she fell in love with the beach. My wife loves the beach.
Yeah.
So that's why we're in Clearwater.
Nice.
My wife.
We're definitely going to have to get together. And do you like to fish at all?
No.
Oh, well, you just throw that out the window.
Listen,
we're back to having coffee and lunch.
Wait, I had a conversation with a guy today, right? He was born and raised in Florida, but he does nothing that Floridians do. And the three things Floridians do is fish, boating, and golfing. I said, well, why do you live here? He goes, I don't know, my parents, I said, because I don't do any of that either. I'm a city boy.
Right.
I'm born and raised in the city of New York City. So I don't boat, I don't golf, and I don't fish.
Well, no matter what, we still need to get together for coffee or lunch or something like that, or dinner or whatever.
Okay.
But that's
Okay,
still, that's funny
that
because
sounds good.
literally I
com-
do all three of those things.
We touched on a lot of areas today on this show here. You got.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Aaron, what
Yeah.
else? What else? Before we wrap this up.
I
So
did have
don't,
some questions here.
well, let's have it. You know, shoot the
Oh,
questions.
you know what I do want to ask you? Can I go backtrack to the whole we are breathing in cremated remains? Now,
Yes.
I want to get clear on this one. Are we breathing in the toxins that that person was full of? Or just simply by burning a body does it create toxins?
Burning the body creates toxins, and you're breathing it.
All right.
You know, I remember when my father passed away. Right. I I was over his bedside. I went to like go kiss him, like, and hug him, right? And my wife, she grabbed my arm. She goes, "Don't kiss him." I said, I looked at her, she's like, why not? And I gave her a face, like, why not? It's my father. And she goes, no, he has a lot of toxins right now. And you know what? She's right. She's
Did
right.
not know that.
Once you die, that's it. Your toxins are just coming through the pores of your skin. Toxins.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
So when they cremate you, those toxins go in the air. We're breathing that. You watch in the future when people start catching on to this. This is going to be talked about. Watch.
Wow.
So you would not be buying a home near a crematorium?
No.
Wow, I had no idea.
No. That's
Neither did
sure.
I. I had no idea until this conversation.
Right. And I told you, the guy that created, by the way, if you ever bought this, you would never buy magnesium supplement ever again.
Wow.
Okay, this is on my website, by the way. You can look at it on my website.
I'll check it out because I do take magnesium supplements.
You will never take magnesium supplement again if you bought this.
Wow. Wow.
You listen, that couple of sprays on like 1, 2, 1, 2, maybe like on your neck or on your stomach area. Watch how you sleep at night with the magnesium.
Well, and that's also why I take magnesium is for sleep.
Yeah.
So
100%.
This is incredible. That's an incredible product. And the guy's name is Ian Clark. He's the founder of that. He's the one that put us on to the cremation.
wow.
Yep. And I need to talk about it because I know about it. So why not spread it? Spread the word. Just like
Absolutely.
the toothpaste. You guys didn't know about the stripe on the toothpaste.
Well, I knew about the stripe. I just didn't know what each one meant.
Okay. So now you know. Green
Now I know.
is all natural.
Yeah.
Black, you see black on it, throw in the garbage, please. It's all chemicals.
Yep.
The red, according to my chart, the red is half natural and half chemicals. They mixed it. That's red. So, a couple of things that, we all learn from, every time we talk to somebody, we learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And this
That's
is
why we do these podcasts.
Yeah, and
Everybody has their area of expertise and a wealth of information in particular areas or several areas. So if we can spread that wealth of knowledge and information, that's what we're doing.
100%. There's another supplement, Tony, that I want to share with you. It's called L-Continin. This supplement right here. This is very healthy for us guys.
Yeah.
This also does the same thing that oysters do. They hit the receptors in the body and they jumpstart the receptors, and then all the messages go through the body and you start producing testosterone.
Nice.
So is that why they say oysters are an aphrodisiac? Just because they produce testosterone?
That's true, 100%.
Yeah, I was gonna go there.
It's not like a sudden boost. Like, let's go, baby.
And zinc, they're loaded with zinc, and zinc is like, besides vitamin D, zinc and vitamin D are the best supplement for increasing testosterone.
Right.
Vitamin D and zinc.
Nice.
So if you don't like oysters, go get some zinc supplements and take some zinc supplements.
Nice. Aaron, what else do you have?
I think that I can't. Well, you don't have my glasses on, right? Because of the reflection. I put my glasses on to see my notes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I wanted to, yeah, we covered that, the hernia. I was super interested in that.
Okay, you know, on the hernia, because you have a hernia, you have the mesh, you could do reverse planks.
Thank you. I've been looking to find out what kind of exercise I could do safely for years, and nobody has ever responded. Like, I
Re-
can't find the info. Reverse planks, okay.
There's two ways, two abdominal exercises that are safe when you have a hernia, and they're both reverse planks. There's two different
Beautiful.
positions. You can
Okay.
even Google it. Google reverse planks, and you'll see there's two positions that you can be doing.
It makes perfect sense because they're not pushing outwards, they're laying flat, they're going
Right,
inwards. It
right.
makes perfect sense.
Right, and I also recommend when you sleep on your back. Don't sleep on your stomach.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You're
You're
a wealth
welcome.
of information. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime, anytime. That's what I'm here for. I lived it. You know, this is something
Yeah.
that I did. I lived it.
Awesome.
Right.
So, Chris,
Yeah.
what else do you have to say to our audience, and how can they find you?
Okay, I can be found on my website, healingwarriors.com. All my books are on there. All the supplements are on there. There's going to be a lot on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. There'll be a lot of content coming out. I'm going to show you how to exercise with a hernia. I have podcasts I'm going to be putting out. You know, people,
Nice.
can listen to our podcasts. What I want to share to close, your show, you always be true to yourself. I strongly live for being true to yourself. And keep your word. Whenever you tell anybody, you're going to do something, or keep your word. Don't go back on your word. Your word is your bond. So be true to yourself and keep to your word. Whatever your word is, keep to it.
I love that. I love that. It's all about the commitment, all about saying doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, just do it.
Chris, thank you for joining us today. Thank you everybody for being on the Wake the Bleep Up show today. Chris,
Beautiful.
you've been amazing. We loved every bit about it.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, everybody.
Thank
Make
you.
it a
Thank
great
you,
rest of your
Aaron.
day.
Okay. Thank you again. Bye now.
All right, bye.
Bye now.